Yeah, this is when the IFC turns off the lights and it's about to get sexy.
This.
And he climbed down that chimney, straight into the huge black pot. And that was the end of the big bad wolf.
Amelia tries to calm down Samuel and get him back to sleep by reading him a story about a monster, even though he was clearly concerned about a monster in his room.
That is a story with a happy ending, where the monster was thwarted by three little pigs, therefore teaching Sam that he can overcome his fears, a common theme throughout the film.
Please don't!
Child inventors.
Nothing in my hand.
Child magicians.
Your son's school is on the phone.
Children.
They're all mistakes, children. Filthy, nasty things. Glad I never was one.
Where'd you get this?
On the shelf.
Sure, it's possible that a parent wouldn't remember every book his or her kid gets. However, a giant red book with such a weird name would probably stand out. And they appear to read books every night. Should raise a few alarms when it randomly appears.
So begins the multiple instances where Jeremy completely misunderstands this film. All of the supernatural elements of this film happen inside the fractured psyche of the mother. Here are 15 preemptive sins for the at least 15 times this movie completely goes over his head.
A rumbling sound, then 3 sharp knocks.
It's no wonder the Babadook got fired from Monsters, Inc. I mean, the guy just announces his presence. And while it was effective, I think the company really got tired of
Skip.
Telephone number on the TV screen is clearly American, even though this movie is shot and presumably takes place in Australia.
Jeremy doesn't know you can call American numbers from Australia.
Jeez, everywhere this woman looks, she sees couples making out. I guess this movie's subtext is about sexual frustration, like the kind of sexual frustration where you don't have a partner, you can't masturbate in peace, and the last time you did it, you had a kid.
Jeremy is a dick to people who have lost their husbands.
Where did you get those firecrackers?
You got them for me on the internet.
Oh, that's the end of the internet.
And tell me, why did Amelia buy him firecrackers? She's having enough issues with trying to stop him from building catapults, so she's just going to give him easy access to other weapons?
Amelia is suffering from grief. She has lost her grip on reality and doesn't remember bringing the red book into the house, let alone buying firecrackers from the internet.
The director said, let's have your character juggle 3 apples. It'll make you look like thrice the asshole.
The CinemaSins writer thought, let's have Jeremy say thrice instead of 3 times. It'll make him sound like even more of an asshole than this clown.
I'm wondering how Samuel pushed Ruby backwards, but she fell face first into the lawn. I'm guessing it's because this is a continuity mistake and Samuel's an asshole.
This is clearly not a continuity mistake. Ruby begins to turn as she's falling backwards. See?
Stay here and look after the children!
Claire trusts Amelia to watch the children.
Why wouldn't she? Punishing the son for the father's mistake. Punishing the mother for the son's mistake. Something like that.
Amelia received the unabridged edition of Mr. Babadook this time. She's lucky. Even the most experienced collectors can't find this version.
I know you wanted to make a clever joke about this seemingly innocuous scene, but this is the clearest evidence that the Babadook is all in Amelia's head.
I declare, Buddy think this house is haunted.
Don't mind me, I'm just hanging out at a neighbor's house who conveniently leaves her windows open so that I can appear in your line of sight. Also, Mrs. Roach is in no danger.
Of course she isn't. Mr. Babadook isn't real.
Where's the smeller, Skip? Koalas don't leave their babies about.
Is this a kangaroo version of Lassie? Like Kangalassie?
That's a wallaby, mate.
The Babadook steals from the Pennywise playbook and inserts himself into movies, media, and the arts.
Because we all know you're referring to 2017's It, Pennywise actually stole it from 2014's Mr. Babadook.
If you're that hungry, why don't you go and eat?
FDA regulations in Australia are a little on the lax side of things.
The FDA is an American agency.
Can the Babadook just with you anywhere once you let it in? If that's the case, then why wasn't it showing up at the restaurant, or at the doctor's office, or Ruby's birthday party? This movie needs some rules.
It has rules. Again, these supernatural elements are all in Amelia's head. That's what the phrase "let it in" means.
Mom?
Amelia takes her masturbation ritual way too far.
I don't know. Her dead husband's violin kind of makes it hot.
Nothing is coming in here tonight. Nothing!
So does the Babadook show up and possess the person who lets it in? If that's the case, then why does it need the weapon-sized, long fingernails? Seems like it could take care of business on its own instead of possessing another person to do its dirty work.
These supernatural elements are all in Amelia's head.
Also, how exactly does one let the Babadook in? By reading the book? Because the book was read 4 or 5 nights ago. So has it been in here this whole time? Movie seems to have just come up with a creepy creature and a name, but no clue what the f to do with it or any explanation for it.
The Babadook represents the 5 stages of grief: denial, anger, depression, bargaining, and acceptance. The scene you just saw was representative of anger. The earlier scenes of her not acknowledging her husband's death would be denial. I'll give 2 sins from now on for not getting it after this explanation.
We can be together. You just need to bring me the boy.
This movie went all Pet Cemetery of the Insidious Poltergeist really quick.
Bargaining.
I guess he really does get thrown out onto the New Jersey Turnpike every once in a while. Wasn't he already possessing her?
These supernatural elements.
I don't really I understand what Samuel did to trigger this, but the Babadook is one f***ing weak-ass horror villain if all it took to beat him was the power of love or some shit.
Supernatural elements are all...
That's all it Babatook?
Considering these supernatural elements are all in Amelia's head, yeah, that's all it took. Also, acceptance.
Okay, so you can't get rid of the Babadook, and it seems like now they're keeping him as some sort of pet. But can't the Babadook decide, f*** this, and terrorize some other vulnerable family? And the motherfucker eats worms?
This scene of her feeding the troll yet again represents acceptance, not unlike your subscribers at this point.
Wop bam loom bam 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 to the boot, oh rude, 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 oh wop bam loom bam bam bam.